Basement Bookers Podcast.
What's up? It's your boys, the Basement Bookers Podcast. I had to do it up close and personal, get all up in there. They say that you need to do that. You need to grab the viewer by the throat, by the hair, and pull them in to the Basement Bookers Podcast. We are a mere one subscriber away from 103. That could be you. So like and subscribe if you're down. Rich the Riz, welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast, the most Riz's ballers. Man, this is a wrestling podcast. Basement booking. This is what we do. It's like an armchair quarterback, but for wrestling.
Yup.
And so, Rich, how are you? What's on your mind? And let us know when you're ready to begin this week's episode's subject and other news.
I'm good. Thank you for asking. As you said, I am Richard. I am here along with Basement Jared to grab you by the hair, pull you in. Yeah, that was weird. It's okay. Thoughts?
You went.
I know.
You went
It
for
happens.
it. That's important. You missed 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right. According to Wayne Gretzky, he said.
I hear
Michael
some
Scott.
people like that. Some people like being grabbed by the face. You know.
Listen, I don't want to ick someone's yum, so.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts? I don't have a whole lot of thoughts at the moment. Like, I kind of come in here not know what to expect. Although you did give me sort of a topic, an idea, and I picked something up and I ran with it a little bit, so I got that ready. And with that said, I'm ready when you are.
All right. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. First, we have to break some news. A lot of you, maybe some of you, don't watch NXT for whatever reason, but there were title changes recently. So Ethan Page is again the men's North American champion, but more shockingly, JC Jane beat Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's Championship. Stephanie will be on her way to I believe it's the Raw brand.
Makes sense.
So she's coming up. Don't worry, there's not going to be a rematch. You won't have to suffer through JC Jane versus Stephanie. Stephanie's on to Monday Night Raw. I don't have a problem with JC Jane. Some people don't think she's anything, but I think she's fine. I think with Stephanie moving up, a lot of the Sol Rukas of the world, they could step up now. And even though Sol's doing great, she's pretty much going to be on the main roster, probably as soon as she drops the North American Women's Championship, because she's a speed champion. She has a title on
I didn't know that.
The main canon.
Is there
I
a belt
think.
for that?
There is a speed championship belt. She has a physical one. That's why I mention it. If it's not, I'm not going to. There's no belt. I don't care. That's why I don't talk about the Heritage Cup.
The cup.
I don't talk about that. I don't bring that up.
Yeah, Andre's not a title either. It's a chain now.
Yeah, so what's going on with that is the one that looks like Randy Orton, he wants out of the no quarter catch crew, so he's got to have a match to get out of that. Okay, that's the news
Like,
there.
no, you're with us until we say otherwise. Like, what if I just am not with you? No, you're with us.
It's like a gang.
Yeah.
It's a wrestling gang. That's the least of their problems. And two shockers. So according to the internet, I think, so this is all alleged, John Laurinaitis is now basically turning snitch on Vince McMahon. He's turning state evidence, allegedly. I don't even know if it's against the state, but evidence to help. He's dismissed from the Janelle Grant lawsuit.
Big Johnny
because
Snitch.
He's going to give evidence against Vince. And tied to that, to Coachman's X account, he's saying that Vince wants to buy back WWE. And TKO is like, nah, we're good. And that's the end of that.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
really
a
what I
completely different
know.
ball game now. Like WWE is not its own entity. WWE is owned by a company. It's part of a conglomerate now. Like you can't just be like, "Hey Rock, let me buy your shares back." No, no, it's different. It's not the
It
same.
is
It's a different
different.
world. It's a different world now.
It's the most different world there's ever been.
Vince should link up with who it wasn't Bischoff. Was it Bischoff? Yeah, Hogan, Bischoff, and whoever the third guy is, I forget. And he should try to make that thing work. What is it?
Are you
It's like
talking about the
that collegiate
amateur
wrestling
wrestling
promotion, yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Dude, that's Global Force Gold as far as I'm concerned. Until they do something, it's
That
nothing.
reminds me. That reminds me. I saw like on X, Jr. had not Jr. Jeff Jarrett has like he's like a shill for Cash App now.
What's wrong with that? It's a
Um,
steady income.
Steady income is good. I don't wanna like lose any potential sponsors. Although I don't. I'm gonna stop myself here. I'm stopping myself. Stopping myself. But Gold Force Gold. If you didn't get in on the ground floor, if you did get in on the ground floor,
All right.
sorry to hear it.
Well, it's time to get to the main event, okay? You need to leave Jeff Jarrett in the past. We don't need him to tank our ratings. We don't need his help.
Nah.
Um, so the reason SmackDown, because we were told in June that WWE's like, listen, we're gonna go back to 2 hours for SmackDown. It's gonna be chill. We know
Mm-hmm.
you're having a really hard time, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna take care of you guys. But USA is like, nah, we're good. We like it, the 3 hours. So
It's
you're gonna keep the
staying.
three
That's crazy.
hours. We like it if you kept the 3 hours. You're gonna keep the 3 hours, right? Because we like it, and that's what we're gonna deal with. So, um, I thought, well, 3 hours. What can you do with 3 hours? And I feel like SmackDown, just for me, not just SmackDown, but Raw generally. Um, I feel like it'll be hard for this topic. Maybe one day down the line we'll figure it out. Um, because there's actually, I don't remember, I don't got the numbers here, but a lot of this podcast, guys, is like it's gonna take you back to before the internet, where you would just talk to somebody and like you wouldn't have in your pocket the article and document to show them and be like, look, it says here. No, you're like, no, he fucking told me, and I'm telling you.
Mm.
So basically, that the most recent episode of Raw is the lowest rating or third lowest rating since
Damn.
Netflix for
Well,
viewership.
that's
And they're trying to
I
correlate it to Seth Rollins because they're comparing it to 2019 where shit wasn't going great. And
so
Seth Rollins was the guy.
all right.
Just real
So
quick, though.
yeah, in my mind, like there's an ebb and flow of wrestling ratings, right? Like they've been on a super high for like ever since like the Bloodline storyline really took off, like with the addition of Sami Zayn and everything. You had that. You had that. You got to the peak. You got to the peak. You had the end of the bloodline as we knew it. Now, then, there was the midline. That was good. And now the roller coaster's coming down. It's like, all right, there's no bloodline. There's not even really a midline. Solo is just the guy that brings in the guys that are actually going to get over there because it's not going to be him. But that is SmackDown. Raw. Um,
Yeah, stick to what we're talking about here.
yeah. I'm correlating here, right? Like you can't necessarily say this this one net is really annoying. You can't necessarily say that raised down because of this one person. Like let's look at the card for Backlash. It wasn't a very strong card. It kind of just wasn't. and it's clearly just. It seemed to me to be transitionary between WrestleMania and then Money in the Bank. You had Saturday Night's Main Event in there, which was also a little mid. I just feel like the storylines right now are less than peak. You got no Raw champ. It's not Gunther anymore. It's Jay, right? People love Jay. People love Yeeting, but I don't think he has the star power that Gunther had, or that who had it before Gunther. All I'm just saying is I don't think it's I don't think it's because of Seth Rollins. This Seth little faction is on the come up. They're still forming. We're still learning what they're trying to do. It's an ebb and flow. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's because of Seth.
Listen, I'm going to have to disagree with you on most of the things you said. A lot of it made sense to maybe like a smarter person. For the layman like me, here's what I'm going to say. Your shows, I don't give a fuck what happened on Backlash. I don't care how Backlash was, okay? I don't care how Saturday Night's Main Event was. I'm talking about Raw. I care about Raw. I care about how Raw's going, right? So they need to look at each show. That wasn't like trying to disparage you. I'm disparaging those things. Like, those things don't matter. They're done. So what are we doing after that? What's going now? Okay, this is the thing about the fact that there's no competition. Okay, that Raw is not running against something comparable to it, is you get this lazy shit. They think they could do whatever the hell they want. Okay, it's gotta. I'm not an expert. I'm not the first one to say this, but what they used to do is basically be like, you gotta have shit on your channel when people are flipping through and they happen to see a thing. It's got to be something that's going to pull them in, or they're just going to keep going. Like, something always has to be happening. And the only thing that's mostly happening is commercials. Okay? And I'm going to say this. A lot of what Seth Rollins saying would make perfect sense if he wasn't already the present. Okay? He's had all this time to make this utopia. And where the hell is it? What do you have to show for it? Okay? What is this vision? Right now, what I see, especially after this whole acknowledge Seth Rollins, is Timu Wish Bloodline. And it's lame. I'm sorry. Because that's all you're doing is you're just mirroring. You're admitting to just trying to get the bloodline and put a Seth Rollins skin on it. I'm not buying it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's my opinion, I guess. And it's like, what is the power? To do what? To do what? Okay, the future is Braun Breaker. Okay, the future is not Bronson Reed. The future is not Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins is the fucking present. And I look, Seth Rollins' ability to go and all the shit he can do, that's not up for debate here. He's just not that interesting. Outside of his, his goofy outfits, he's got his dumb laugh. You know, what else are you? I don't know. So he's just got what the thing that played out aura.
Oh, I thought you were gonna sing the song.
Fuck off with that aura shit. All right, that's all I'm saying. And it's not Seth Rollins' fault. I'm not, because I ran down that stable because I think it's lame as shit. I don't think that's the reason why things suck. I'm saying that's why I don't like that. I'm not saying things like suck. They're just not as good as they could be. You know, like we watch Monday all the time. hang out and
right
it's
here
fun.
on YouTube.
But if I'm
Live.
not watching it with you guys, I just don't. It's not fun for me.
Hmm.
You know, I would just want less commercials, more wrestling.
Yeah.
So
So to add on to what you said about Seth Rollins being the present, if you look at someone's wrestling career, I think Seth is in the second act. He's in the middle of three sections of his wrestling career. He's, in fact, I think, approaching the end of the second act of his career and approaching the beginning of the third act, to where it's like, all right, I'm gonna start doing a few less dates a year. I'm gonna start winding it down. I'm gonna start
all right,
putting the guys over. Not like
here's
definitely
where it
not
goes.
not retirement tour. He definitely has at least another 5 years left, as long as he stays healthy. Minimum 5 years. I just feel like he's had a good long career from even before WWE, obviously before NXT and FCW, Ring of Honor, even before then on the Indies. It takes its toll. It's about he's approaching the time where I feel like he's gonna say, maybe it's time to start winding it down.
All right, here we go. All right. First of all, you say that a lot about Seth Rollins. I just want you to know that. Secondly, this is where it goes. Seth Rollins takes Money in the Bank. Maybe this is why part of it's like, in my mind, I know he's just going to win Money in the Bank, so I don't care about Money in the Bank anymore. Okay? I feel like it's going to be Seth is next after Jay. And Seth's going to hold that and eventually drop it to Sami Zayn. He's going to be the one to give Sami Zayn his world title run. That's what this is about. I think that's what this is about.
Yeah.
But that's just wishful thinking. And now I'm not saying that I'm like, yeah, Sami Zayn should definitely be world champion. I'm saying he can be. That's the belt to do it with. You know what I mean?
I think if Jay can do it, Sammy can do it. They just gotta get the right storyline behind them.
Yeah, people will get behind him.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what this is for, fine. But on its face, the Vision, Dangerous freaking Alliance, whatever you want to call it, it's not for me. Maybe it's for somebody. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, it's the new evolution. It's the new this. If it has to be to do those things, then it's hack. It's not original. It's just I don't know. It's watered down.
I haven't heard the new evolution, and if someone, like, if anyone besides you said that, I know you're not saying it, but like if someone would hear and say, "Oh yeah, the new evolution," I'd be like, "Were you even watching wrestling when evolution
Yeah, it
was a
doesn't make
thing?"
any sense. There's nothing Triple H about Seth Rollins. There's
No.
nothing Ric Flair about Paul Heyman.
Nope.
It's just not the same. There's nothing Batista about Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, I think, might be better.
I
But
agree.
that's
Braun Breaker is
that's
better.
another argument entirely. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
glad
it
we're-
is another argument. What Braun has that Batista didn't have is that speed, that explosiveness that they're always talking about, but it's a fact.
Exactly.
It's impressive as hell.
Exactly. All right. So finally, 20 minutes in, we're gonna get into the subject, which is back to SmackDown's 3 hours, and we're gonna see like what we can do, like with those 3 hours to improve. You can even keep things the same. What's missing from the graphic is JC Mateo, because he's not on the list of the wrestlers at the website where I got everything. But wherever Bloodline is, which I've organized it pretty well, you just think of him.
Okay.
So allow me to share this. Okay. So as you can see here, this is everybody on SmackDown. I even put Nick Aldis there. Okay.
Nice.
Because I don't know if Apollo's SmackDown. He's just been gone for so long. So
Got about Pretty
Okay.
Deadly.
Yeah. So on the
Mm-hmm.
front row, top row, you're gonna have all the champions. I'm gonna read everybody for the audio listeners. It's John Cena, Tiffany Stratton, Jacob Fatu, Zelina Vega, Street Profits, Raquel, and Liv. Those are the women's tag team champions. And
Mm-hmm.
as you know, I've read all the other singles champions. Jacob Fatu is United States champion. Zelina is the female counterpart to that. Of course, the Street Profits are tag team champions. John Cena is the champ. Tiffany Stratton is the champ. The top row is actually the top guys also. So I put
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes. I put Drew there. Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Owens is hurt, but I put him there.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight,
Yeah.
Randy, Ray Phoenix because, I put him there. And then you got Motor City Machine Guns. You got Angel and
Berto.
Berto there.
Mm-hmm.
Fraxium. You got Candice, Tommaso, and Johnny. I put them together. And you got Pretty Deadly.
Tag
Okay?
team section. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, kinda. Um, because technically, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are a tag team, but they're down with Solo because they're bloodline.
And they
Um,
also keep tagging in who's injured and who's healthy.
right,
Right now, I think both of
right.
them are injured.
So on to the women. And it's like you look at the women, it's like really there's not a lot of them. So Nia Jax, Bianca Belair, who's coming back next Friday,
Mm-hmm.
Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Alba Fire, B-Fab, Jade, Julia, and Meechin.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki Cross, but she's also with the Wyatt Six,
Yep.
which there are five. But
Right.
Solo, Tama, Tonga, JC Mateo, who you picture in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Hayes and The Miz, Jimmy No Yeet Uso,
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest, Andrade, Apollo, Nick Aldis, Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura. Then you got the Wyatt Six, which is comprised of Uncle Howdy, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, and Nikki Cross. Okay? So, that is our current active SmackDown roster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And just to make things interesting, if you want to take from NXT someone that you think could be, except for Stephanie, because she's going to be on Raw, she's not going to be on SmackDown.
Right.
Basically, think of them as like free agents,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like you could kind of move around with some NXT people. So if you could think of them, obviously I can't just add it here, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but you can just if you could think about it off the top of your head. But really, what we want to do is use what we have here as close to what they could realistically do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, or whatever your vision is. So you got 3 hours. Like
To
what
talk.
storylines? Like what could you do with who do you want to feature? Because like who's doing what? Like what kind of business you think here?
Hmm. So one thing you mentioned, there aren't a lot of women, but obviously, if we're gonna sort of like attribute like a ratio of the show, like you want maybe a third to be women, a third tag teams, and a third men, right? So kind of divvy it up like that. It doesn't quite look like there's like the women have a third. It looks like they're a little less. So maybe you bring up Sol Ruka to here. I know obviously Stephanie is going to Raw. Maybe bring Sol Ruka up. Looking at the women's division here, the top tier of the women. So you got Tiffany, Nia, Bianca, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Naomi. for now. Jade'll go in and out depending on what storyline she's doing or whatever. And then you got the mid card Chelsea, Candice with her storyline, and Julia interjecting here and there, and then you have like pretty much everyone else of the women are at the lower end. So I think the women could use a bit of a boost. Bring Sol Ruka up there. Roxanne would actually fit well here, but obviously she's on Raw. What would I do? So Drew is done with Priest, thankfully. Drew is probably off selling at the moment.
Yeah, but you could do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I took some time to think.
You were given hours notice.
I was given hours notice. But of course I had work and everything.
Don't you do this shit to me.
I have an idea. It's not necessarily exactly like what you were thinking of me doing, but I have a theory on something they could do with Cena. Okay? Now, let's take, for example, maybe, because, Cena had the Firefly Funhouse match against The Fiend, which, of course, like, kayfabe, it was all in his head. It was all psychological. It was a psychological match. It wasn't a physical match.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt defeated him in his mind.
Right. So, what if that is what's causing this change in John Cena? Let's put a pin in that for a moment. The Wyatt Six, since they have formed, they've essentially primarily been attacking characters that have turned on their friends. Okay? Now, kind of like a way like, hey, don't do that. That's wrong. Don't be a dick. Don't turn on your friends. We're going to punish you for it.
Is this an episode of Bluey?
No. Not that I know of. If it is, I haven't seen that one yet. Anyway.
Okay.
So, what if Bo Howdy, Uncle Howdy, whatever you want to call him, thinks he can fix the damage, the change done to John Cena by The Fiend? What if the Wyatts start feuding with Cena? Go have a match and everything. What if Bo thinks he can cure him? Because Cena has turned on the world at this point. That would be like the biggest thing. Now, you don't put Uncle Howdy over Cena. You don't. But what if at the end of the match, maybe make this towards the end of this run, this Cena run, right? The end of the match, kind of like we saw at the end of Backlash. Cena wins. He's about to walk away with the title, but he hears the crowd. What if he turns back? And just the last match, his last feud, whatever that may be. Maybe it's Drew. Maybe his last feud is against Kevin Owens. I hope it's not The Rock.
The Rock's not going to wrestle. The Rock, don't think about The Rock wrestling for like the next 5 years.
Yeah. So if Cena turns back face, his last feud is going to be either Drew or Owens or whoever the biggest face on heel on Raw is. If he stays heel, I think Cody's going to take either Cody. No, that's to do Orton again. It's going to be Cody. If he stays heel, then it's Cody taken from him.
Okay. That's what you got for 3 hours of Raw. Got it. All right.
SmackDown.
More John Cena stuff. All right. I guess I wasn't very clear, but that's something.
No, you were clear. It's just that was all I came up with.
Oh. All right. Well, it was good, and I think everybody should put in the comment sections what they thought about what your idea was, and I'm gonna try to follow that carefully. So, excuse me. I was hoping I was able to bounce off of that, but I kind of can't. All right, so mainly right here, what you have is an embarrassment of riches. Now, you have here so many faces, many wrestlers wrestle around the world, and 3 hours is what you got. Okay, so how many commercials in a 3 hour show?
Too many.
You know, so I don't know how much that is, so I'll ask now. So, how many commercials breaks on average 3 hour episode of SmackDown? Okay. Just to get the numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it just corrected me, and it comes from a different planet because it says no, because SmackDown typically runs for 2 hours, not three. I'm like, well, it's 30 now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 3 hours now. How did it not know that? It's okay, you're absolutely right. All right, now it's being retarded, and it's giving me the whole fucking roster. Whatever. All right, I don't care. It's not my job to figure out commercials.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what you need to do, okay? Street Profits, they're your tag team champions, and you're gonna need more tag teams. So I want Jimmy Uso with Rey Fenix. I want those guys as an unlikely tag team. Okay? Because it's like one half of the Usos, one half of the Lucha Brothers. Usos mean brothers, and they're brothers of other brothers, and they're in a team. And that's why you put Rey Fenix, Jimmy Uso, the other brother team.
They're brothers
Okay.
with other brothers.
So basically, what I want is a series of matches that leads to Rey Fenix and Jimmy Uso being the tag team champions. The other brothers are the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then one day you might have to have a match. You might have Penta and Jay versus Jimmy and Rey Fenix. Okay? This could lead to this. That's a money or nothing match right there. So we're gonna keep that one. So there's your tag team feud. My storyline, I want it to be Jimmy and Rey Fenix going for the tag team championships. I want Damian Priest and Andrade in a tag team. And when they lose the whatever the hell, they could slap meat. They could wrestle each other. That could be an interesting thing. Andrade and Damian Priest. Aleister Black. I say you keep this Miz Hayes thing going. See where it takes you. All right, three of those guys are set. Maybe you could sprinkle a little bit of Shinsuke Nakamura in there. You could toss a little of that, right? All right. And then you got Randy Orton. What do you do with Randy Orton that hasn't been Randy Orton before? Okay. I'm talking about, all right, Randy Orton, okay, versus JC Mateo. Okay, for now. Okay, just have them do something for now. Because we know that, it's going to lead to Solo and Jacob and JC. But, let's make it look like that's not going to be a thing. Maybe it could be during the Randy Orton JC Mateo match, and things don't go the way they're supposed to. Maybe Solo was expecting that Jacob would be there to help JC, but he wasn't there, and it's like he ain't tell him he was going to help him, and that he shouldn't assume. So there's a lot you could do with that. And it's like, well, oh, there he goes. Sexist basement Jerry. He's not even talking about the women yet. I was getting there. Okay.
Best for last.
I was getting there. We're not even done. It's not even the last.
It's not just that.
Look, Liv and Raquel, they're the women's tag team champions. They're going to be the women's tag team champions for a long time. As long as Liv will keep traveling to SmackDown, it's just going to happen. Okay. So Piper and Alba want to get those tag team championships. They're going to be chasing those championships. They're going to have to turn on Chelsea. I don't know when, I don't know how, but more importantly, I need Zelina Vega as a heel. I want Zelina Vega as a heel, and I'm going to pair her with Apollo Crews. Okay? Because he could be like the guy that gets in the way. He can like be a distraction and all that stuff.
Added bonus, she makes him look tall.
Exactly. Okay? And she needs to cheat. Okay? Because she needs to cheat all the time. Okay? Do that line cheating and stealing. People keep, doing the Eddie stuff, but they're not doing the Eddie stuff. You feel me?
Right.
So let Zelina do the Eddie stuff. Lying, cheating, and stealing. You guys like to ride that nostalgia for everything else. What's the difference? What's the difference, man?
Seriously.
All right. So Angel and Berto, that's a wrap. That's getting split off. Berto, I'm trading for Chase University. Okay, so I want Chase University segments on SmackDown. Okay, and it's about. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. All right, we're gonna keep Berto staying here. He's not fired, but him and Angel, it ain't happening. It's gonna still be Angel and Santos Escobar. That's gonna be a tag team. Berto, he's out there in the United States picture title for now. Okay. So Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Candice LeRae, the Way 2.0 light, because there's only 3 of them. I say leave them where they're at. Just being a menace to the tag team division. Overall, it's pretty solid. Just make sure you add Rey Fenix, Jimmy Uso. We already had that conversation. We don't have to again. So with Zelina as a heel, United States champion, we can have Nia Jax trying to go after. Well, she's a heel too. Never mind. Maybe Alexa Bliss or B-Fab or Michin. Any of those. And then Tiffany's a women's champion. Wow, there's really not that many women. It's like being a women's champion. Well, it's a niche thing, I guess.
Big fish in the pond.
Let's get Chelsea over to Tiffany. Let her, take some shots at her. She's got the Secret Harvest still. Maybe they can help her. There's really not a lot to do with it. I mean, Julia might be Money in the Bank, but I doubt it. She's not gonna. She might be an issue for Tiffany Stratton. Jade and Naomi, that thing's still happening. That's kind of revolving around Tiffany a little bit too. And Bianca, I'm not sure yet. Either she's involved with the Naomi and Jade thing, or she's headed off to work her way back up to Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, we also got to see what she's going to do this week on SmackDown. Next week she comes back. Next week,
Yeah.
you said. Yeah.
Cody this Friday.
Whoa.
Cody's chasing Cena.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to do, I was just gonna have it that the Wyatts are like John Cena's like people. You know, like if he's not around, they're fucking people up for him. You know, because that's what I wanted. I needed John Cena to have someone here when he's not here. You know what I mean? But apparently he's going to be here on Friday to answer Cody, I think. And probably lay down for another AA or something. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. What do you think of all that stuff that I just basically said a bunch of shit?
That's all good. I think the only people you didn't say anything for are LA Knight. Yeah, we're ignoring injured.
Well, I figured he would be in the United States picture, the United States title hunt. Mm-hmm. You know, he's been pretty good with that. I feel like realistically, he's not going to be in the John Cena farewell tour as an opponent. So I wasn't thinking of him in the world title hunt.
They could, like, on a SmackDown.
John Cena's not going to wrestle SmackDown.
On a Saturday night's main event, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Because I'm also thinking about Raw stars. It's not just SmackDown people he wants to wrestle. He's going to want to wrestle some Raw people, too. It's got to be Jay at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Isn't that when they do the champion makes the big belt or something?
It depends on the year. They've done Raw versus SmackDown Night of Champions.
Yeah, but remember Cody versus Gunther. No, remember Cody versus Gunther. They wrestled for like a big ass belt, and the women did one too. You don't remember?
Oh yeah, I think that was just a Saudi thing.
Where do you think it is?
I don't know.
It's in Saudi Arabia.
All right. So then they're doing that.
Man,
I mentioned Pretty Deadly, but obviously they're going to be in the tag title.
Yeah, tag team titles.
And Michin.
I mentioned her for United States.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
Yeah, you did. Because I definitely did. So.
All right. So.
And Nikki Cross, I basically have her just a part as the Wyatt Six. Mm-hmm. And whatever woman talks shit about John Cena, she'll like handle for him.
Yeah, and she could also be a menace to any female face champ.
Because I don't want John Cena in my program. I don't want him involved in any goofy shit. And that's as close to goofy shit as he's going to get, is having them fuck up people for him. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't want any goofy shit. Okay?
No supernatural, paranormal.
But yeah, you could tell me, guys, what you thought about any of the stuff I said, if that's any interest to you. I really like the Jimmy and Ray thing. I just came up with it.
I like that.
I think it's amazing.
I like that a lot. And also, it leaves an option for if you get Jimmy and Ray versus Jay and Penta, for them to have a match and then just everyone switch mid-match. Ref throws it out because he doesn't know who the hell's, it's like, what team is going to be winning if Penta pins Jay, right? You know, like, he just throws the match out, and then you get Usos versus Lucha Bros.
Well, listen, you gotta crawl before you can walk, and right now, it's Jimmy and Ray, the other brothers, others, okay? And they're going to become a SmackDown. Matter of fact, it'd be better after they become the SmackDown champions and somehow Penta and Jay become the Raw Tag Team champions and they have to wrestle each other at a Night of Champions. And a champions versus champions.
That'd be dope.
Brothers versus brothers. Brothers versus brothers. They're going to be brothering. Oh, it's a tag team brother versus brother match. It's like a dream match, but you only get half, and that's tease. And it's crazy. It's like, whoa, hold on a second. The first time these guys are in the ring together, they've got like they're partners with the other guy from the tag team the first time. And now you got to work up to when the brothers are like, we're back together and we're going to beat these guys. And it's going to be, that's the dream match. Usos versus the Lucha Brothers.
Yep. That's kind of crazy. Crowd would be yeeting all over the place.
I'm excited about pro wrestling again. Okay?
Yeah.
Except it's not happening on their TV.
We flash back to when we were booking our own shows.
Look, I would love for Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu to just go at it, to just have like these crazy fights. Okay? I can't wait for Kevin Owens to come back, because I would have Kevin Owens and Carmelo Hayes go at it. That could be helpful to bring out Carmelo's like personality a little bit more. A little bit of Kevin Owens, babyface Kevin Owens, obviously, because he'd be coming out as a babyface. He's coming back on a return from almost ending his career, maybe.
It's true.
You want to be a babyface. Also, don't worry, you could do Nick Aldis versus Randy Orton still. That could still come down the pipe. Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura, eventually you could have that. You could have Tama Tonga versus anybody here, and whoever. So that's it. That's all I had to say.
Nice. That's a lot. So you came up with like the whole thing, which I think was really originally your intent.
Yeah, but I did it just now because I figured I gave you time, but you got what
you did, but it didn't work out that way. Sorry, bro.
It's all right. I wasn't throwing shade. It's just that I actually worked hard on this. I was sitting here. I'm like, all right, I got to copy from here, paste here, size all this and the same. Because when you copy it, it's like the exact thing, and they're big. So I wanted to fit, so I had to keep resizing them. And then group them, and then size the rows, and then put the wallpaper thing in there, and it doesn't matter. Anyway.
Damn.
What'd you guys think? Did you guys like that? Do you have ideas for SmackDown that you think would be cool? Like a story you want to put, like a basement book? I'm going to make Rey Fenix and Jimmy Uso the tag team champions in 2K25. What are you going to do? Do you like that game? Do you play Supercard? Was your progress reset? Your battle pass stolen from you? Your quest progress reset as if it never happened? Your 100 objectives just reset? Which is like, I guess that's fine. I get another chance at better cards. But that's not the point. If that happened to you, make sure you let them know how you feel about that. Put it in the comments. It happened to you. What'd you lose?
Power to the Karens right now.
It could be worse.
Right. Yeah. Well, good episode, good stuff, dude. Yeah, like you said, let us know down below what you would think, what you think about our ideas for SmackDown, staying 3 hours. What would you do with this roster?
Should we do a Raw episode of this or an NXT one if anybody's interested?
Yeah,
give me advance notice if I have to freaking set this shit up.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be a little more prepared for that. But as always, do a solid like, subscribe. More than half of you are not subscribed, so please hit that button.
You could be 103.
You could be. And as always, Jer's got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers.